There's also a small chance the stream highlight could make it into a YouTube video, which also means we could probably do better on the music. So let's work on that. Gonna try to be honest here. I think what we should... Actually, no, we can pull out the mic as well if this is going to be a YouTube video. I think we should try to be more sympathetic towards others while trying to get our point across. I will start out by saying I've never hacked Pokemon into my game, have no intention of doing so in the future. That's a lie, because anyone that's ever played Pokemon legitimately hates hackers because they cheat. Cheating is wrong. Cheating takes away all the work you have put legitimately into the game to disadvantage you and then make games harder and just like remove all the fun from all the work you just did and all the fun from all of Pokemon. How are we sympathetic towards that? How are we sympathetic towards the person who is deliberately choosing to ruin your experience by cheating? Alright. And now I understand what Godzilla Freak meant when they were like, yeah, I don't understand these centrist views. Like, you aren't making a point. However, this method of constantly insulting people is doing nothing to promote a healthy community, as people uninvested in either side have and will continue to find us toxic. I mean, they're finding the Pokemon VGC community toxic regardless of what I say, and it's not toxic to call a cheater what they are, a scumbag, and an idiot that defends cheating or is just completely wrong. Like, this is the comment on the video of my last video I made. Pokemon players can't accept the simple fact, and then my thumbnail is cheating is wrong. I destroyed that guy like 5 different times. He just started off saying, I don't see what the problem is with cheating. And at that point, like, you're such a loser. If you don't think cheating is wrong, you are a loser. And if you can't understand why cheating is wrong, you're also an idiot. This is just truth. So I obliterated the person so hard in that video, they can only be described as an idiot. You know, everyone else is fine with that, but if it's one of those things where, like, if you agree with them, because remember, this guy is not a legitimate player, they're not trying to, like, be in the middle of hacking. There's no in the middle when it comes to cheating. You either defend cheating, or you're completely against it. And if you're not completely against it, then you're on the other side. So we have someone that's, like, defending cheating, that can't admit to the wrongs of their own side, so of course they're going to get upset when you just say, like, yeah, this is bad. It's evil stuff to lie, cheat, and steal. Wow, who knew? That's where we're at with Pokemon. I turned my Switch back on, and it actually, like, looks worse on the background. It was kind of cool when it was dark and had, like, the little sparkly parts come up for, like, background stuff. Not to sugarcoat it, but a lot of people don't like you. Okay, like, idiots and losers don't like me because they lie, cheat, and steal. Again, like, this is why I do these videos, because I want a conversation. I want to find the one person that can prove me wrong. I beg for examples of all these things. Like, what makes me a bad person? Please, one example of anything I've done wrong. I beg. And they always run. They always hide. They never can give a single example. So that's why I don't understand, like, how do all these people don't like me when they don't have one example? And when pressed upon it, they can never give an example. And by extension, what I stand for, I only stand for being against lying, cheating, and stealing. How antagonistic you act towards the community. It's not my fault that the Pokemon community is toxic and supports lying, cheating, and stealing, and I'm the only person that's against it. How is that my fault? How is that, like, yeah, I guess I am antagonistic towards the community, but that means the community is what's in the wrong here. Oh, dang, I should have mentioned at some point that I'm on Kick with this live stream, and if you want, like, the most raw, just chatting content, follow me on Kick, and also just kind of, like, comment, subscribe, share the YouTube videos, because again, I just want to have conversations. I'll talk with anyone in the Pokemon community. I want to talk to the other Poketubers and, like, you know, work things out and hash things out. Tyranitar, like, soft offered, but I DM'd him on Twitter and I've commented on his YouTube videos. I haven't heard back from him at all. I'm not hard to get a hold of, so I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, just kind of, like, follow and share, and that's how we get over the dislike botting and YouTube blacklist and all that fun stuff. We did a auditory cooking of a steak because my webcam doesn't make it to the kitchen, and we had a good time on stream. It also got a little more done. It's closer to medium, and now we're making content there, and we're also doing Pokemon battles. Viewers are still going up. Wait, the rant is gaining viewers? Oh man, all right. This is what the people want, apparently. This guy got debunked right there. People don't like me. Nah, this is what the people want. If we actually want Pokemon to have a healthy community without cheaters, we should try thinking why they hold these opinions. Bro. Godzilla Freak keeps being right with like, yeah, these centrist opinions just do not hold up. You don't tolerate evil. They're like, why do they hold those opinions? Because they're losers and they need to be kicked out of the community. If they're cheating, we don't give them devil's advocacy on cheating. Instead of repeatedly pointing to the rulebook and telling them that they're wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If 2 + 2 = 5 to someone's head, they are an idiot, and all you can do is just be like, here's how it works. You take 1, and you add another 1, and that's 2. And then you add 2 more of those, and that's 4. And that's it. Like, these people cannot understand basic facts. And, like, as my video showed, you can't do anything about it because they're too stupid to understand how stupid they are. But that's why you also get the community to rally around them and be like, oh wait, Verlisify isn't the problem. It's all these toxic cheaters that are just objectively stupid that are the problem. So pointing and throwing the rulebook at them is how you strengthen the case to be like, see, they're the ones that are in the wrong. 2 + 2 does in fact equal 4. Here's the proof. People aren't going to change how they act because we pointed to a paragraph saying it's against the rules, and we should give them more reason than that to stop. Okay, what do we do, Mr. Big Brain Deep Thinker? I imagine nearly all cheaters in competitive Pokemon do so not to try to get an edge on their opponents, but to cut out the tedium of grinding for optimal Pokemon. Cheaters are always in the wrong. It is an autonomous action to cheat, and that's also points I've made in my video and other videos, which somehow this person's against. No one's forcing you to play Pokemon. If you can't follow the rules, you have no right to play. Again, just a fact as simple as cheating is wrong, but again, these like idiots and cheat defenders, they don't know how stupid they are. And this person just falls in that boat where like he's trying to be deep about this, but he's actually just a midwit that doesn't understand. He just has no idea what he's talking about in any capacity. To them, it would be best if everybody had access to easier team building. But you don't. Like, you can't make up a fantasy land, live in that fantasy land, and then justify cheating in your because your fabricated reality. No, that's not how it works. I think the biggest problem is how this easier team building, which I'm sure everybody would support if were official and approved by Game Freak. Oh, so he means like Pokemon Showdown, just like instantly making teams or hacking or cheating, is considered a quality of life fix. The reason why it hasn't happened, and the reason why it's still against the rules to hack Pokemon in any capacity, is because it's not quality of life to cheat and hack your game. Everyone should use in some way, cheat past honest work to get results by others. Whatever, I don't even know. I find that the specific rules made by the Pokemon Company are not equivalent. The player base feels is fair play or not. I need to read that again. I'm not wrong in thinking that that's just incorrect, right? The grammar there ain't work. I find that the specific rules made by the Pokemon Company are not equivalent. The player base feels is fair play or not. Yeah, there's a word missing at some point. It doesn't matter. If you disagree with the rules, then don't play. Should a player have to spend hours grinding for slight changes and optimizations like 0 IVs and attack in the case of foul play and confusion, or the best defensive Terra for a Pokemon that they probably won't even terrestrialize? Most would say no. They are objectively in the wrong. Because that's how it works for anything. Min-maxing any game, putting in the extra work to like research all of that stuff. Pokemon requires work. It takes thousands of hours to be competitive in any sport or esport or game. Pokemon is no different. The difference is the game itself. That you can't compare it to like, well, in, CSGO, you already come with all the guns and all the players are just like the same thing, so Pokemon should just automatically have you set up to play competitive. You just compared an FPS to a turn-based strategy game where magical monsters fight each other that also came out before CS. It's just like that weird stuff where it's like you are comparing two different things and then trying to like justify being a cheater, justify being a moron from something that is incomparable. So yeah, like you have to spend the work if you want that optimization. If you want that edge in battle, because it is an advantage to have 0 IVs in attack over any other natural amount, then you have to put in that extra work to make sure your Pokemon is flawless or in the best state it could possibly be. And yeah, if it's just the 0.5% chance for terrestrialization, you need to put the extra 1 to 2 hours of work to get the Terra Shards to change that Pokemon's Terra type. And what that means is that the player that's cheating all of that stuff in is then skipping that amount of work to then gain the 0.5% win condition over their opponent, which is a measurable advantage, and that just scales with every minute that is skipped through cheating in the game. It's not hard to understand, but as you can see, these people, They're too stupid to understand it. So again, they're too stupid to know how they're wrong. And it's not an insult to say that, it's just the straight truth. Most would say no. This is mostly an argument about how difficult and grindy actually getting a team is. And as I've pointed out with the hypocrisy in multiple VGC videos, people say like, oh, cheating doesn't give an advantage of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because you just make a Pokemon in 10 minutes. But then also earlier in the argument, or like at some other point in the argument, they'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to spend the 100 hours it takes to make a competitive team constantly in Pokemon. They just keep flipping around because all it is hypocrisy and contradiction because they don't have any argument. They have no arguments, they just have to make stuff up and then just be stupid the entire time. So it's not difficult and grindy, it's easier than ever before, which is the argument from generations ago where it's like, well, I only cheat because it takes too long. They made it easier. It still takes too long. They made it easier. Made it easier. Well, now just it takes so little time that I can cheat and there's no advantage. So like at least this person actually hasn't made the ultimate idiot argument of denying the advantage cheating gives. They're just trying to defend cheating and play devil's advocate for it. But again, that's just a completely losing thing because if you don't like the rules, don't play them. Argument over. Like, done. And that's it. Pokemon dies. If you need to cheat to play Pokemon, it dies, and then none of this matters anyways. But no, people want to play. They want to disadvantage others. They wouldn't cheat if it didn't give an advantage. So that's why we're here. So yeah, it's not what people want to do or what players should be a part of what should be tested in a tournament. Again, every competitive sport or esport requires sacrifice. Like, if you want to be competitive, if you want to play at the top level, if you want to compete and show that you are a top player or the best or whatever, you have to do the work. What we need to try to do is come to an understanding as a community that wants to thrive. Ugh. What we have to do is come to an understanding as a community that actually wants to thrive. There is no example in history where a game thrives because of a massive cheating problem. It's killing Pokemon. No one wants to play Pokemon because legit players, guess what? Like, people also want to follow the rules. They don't want to break the rules, even if they feel they must, even if everyone else is doing it. There's just good people out there. This is good versus bad. And that's the thing, like, people will follow the rules because it's the right thing to do, but then they get disadvantaged, you just lose all those people. They just play, they leave. They're gone forever, so you actually lose more people to cheating than you gain from people that are like, oh, I wouldn't work anyways. I mean, again, if you want to be competitive, people have spent countless thousands of hours in League of Legends and Fortnite and any game. Like, there's games where people just play an outrageous amount of time, and we also saw, like, more people put in more time in Pokemon X and Y to have a more thriving competitive community than we do now. So, like, yeah, it's easier, it's more accessible. You're just an entitled brat. Anyone defending cheating is an entitled brat or an idiot, or they're, like, forced to be an idiot because the cognitive dissonance means they can't accept anything because their arguments are so flawed. So the only thing they can say is wrong things after that. Such as that cheating makes a community healthier. Again, that's just like how flawed this is. Yeah, if you want to thrive, no cheating. Ban all the cheaters, and then make it to where work is rewarded, and then you have more people playing. And also, like, when everyone knows it's fair, everyone's enjoying the game. Like, Call of Duty is dropping off hard. Like, no one I know plays Warzone anymore because of all the cheaters. Same thing for, like, any shooter, any game where it's just like, oh man, too many cheaters came in. Yeah, there's absolutely no point to play anymore because there's no competitive integrity. You can't have competitive integrity in a game where most of the people are cheating. Pokemon's no different. And if you don't have competitive integrity, then there's no point playing. So we don't have a thriving community because of cheating. So there's no understanding there. You can't make an understanding with people that want to break the rules to disadvantage you because they're scumbags. So what we see as a whole, and to what extent, if any, external aid should be available. It's not external aid to break the rules and hack the game. Holy wow, yeah. This is what happens when, even though I make the joke a lot, this is legitimate sub-room temperature IQ. This is what happens when someone with a 76 IQ thinks that they got it. Thinks that they are about to make their statement that changes the world, and we just get, like, the hardest idiocracy you could imagine. This is what happens when a true moron gets in the flow state and thinks they're, like, writing the next piece of great literature. But and that's another thing I don't understand about Pokemon. How is it that Pokemon attracts this to a large amount? Like, yeah, everyone knows IQ is plummeting. Social media is making everyone just ignorant and stupid and refusing to accept facts, and no one ever wants to admit they're wrong, even though I beg for it. Like, still, like, the cognitive dissonance is outrageous. But like this is what happens. Like, how is it that we get such a concentration of Pokemon? How's like the average IQ in Pokemon 80 at this point, dude? And then like there's just no fixing it. There's just no matter what you can do. And this guy even like said it earlier on. We should try thinking of why they hold these opinions. They held them because they're stupid. Like, that is what this shows. That's what my last video shows. That's what all my other content about how toxic the Pokemon community has shown. Instead of repeatedly pointing the rulebook at them, telling them that they're wrong. That's what I mean. Like, if someone cannot understand that they're wrong, that's it. And for some reason, that's just the majority of Pokemon. And then the rest, like, then like, I'll admit there's smart cheaters out there, but that's because they're doing it to disadvantage others. They're doing it because they're just evil and scumbags, and then they lie about it, which is even more evil, and they do it to steal money in tournaments. Hey, WolfeyVGC, and then his audience just refuses to even accept any part of that. Like, my favorite thing about WolfeyVGC fans, they'll say, like, Wolfey doesn't cheat, but it wouldn't be wrong if he did cheat, and it doesn't matter that he lies about cheating. So, like, yeah, it's one of those things, but, cool. We got some nice kick content out of this, and then more YouTube shenanigans, and, like, this is the real Pokemon community out there, and maybe at some point it'll catch on. People be like, yo, Pokemon's kind of messed up, Verlisify's on it, I want to do something to help, because I love Pokemon, and this is just terrible. Or also just kind of showing the stories, because somehow we are maintaining, like, viewership on Kick through this, and people just like watching these videos, because, like, it's just good arguments, and breaking down what's going on. I do it for the conversation. I love Pokemon. That's why these videos are existing, because, like, Pokemon's my passion. I know I'm more knowledgeable about it than anyone else, especially when it comes to these kinds of arguments, and I do it for the conversation. That's like the entirety of this YouTube channel. The YouTube channel exists because I talk about Pokemon, and this is talking about Pokemon. I wish it was better, but it's not my fault Pokemon community is so terrible. So yeah, there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching. How do we pivot from that? Okay, so we do that, and then we do that, and then we see what people think.